Did you know that what you think you know about your sleep and brain health may actually be preventing you from living longer and more clearly? It sounds shocking, I know, but the truth is that many of us are operating under old beliefs and persistent myths that sabotage our vitality and longevity potential. Imagine for a moment that the key to a sharper mind and a more resilient body is hidden behind information you consider true, but which science has already debunked. It's a reality that impacts millions of people, and perhaps you are one of them. As a physician and specialist in preventive health, with years dedicated to understanding the complexity of the human body, and in particular, the intricate relationship between our brain and our daily habits, I see every day how misinformation affects our longevity and well-being. My mission is to translate the latest science into practical and accessible strategies so that you can take control of your health. I'm not here to scare you, but to empower you with the knowledge that truly makes a difference. In this video, I'm going to debunk 5 persistent myths about sleep and the brain that are silently sabotaging your health, and give you the tools and knowledge to finally sleep better, think more clearly, have more energy, and yes, live a longer and more vibrant life. Stay with me until the end, because the last myth is one of the most dangerous and widely accepted, and debunking it could be a game changer for your health. Myth 1. You need exactly 8 hours of sleep to be healthy. Let's start with one of the most deeply ingrained myths in our culture. The idea that all of us, without exception, need exactly 8 hours of sleep per night to be healthy. How many times have you heard this? Probably countless times. And how many times have you felt guilty or anxious for not being able to reach this ideal mark? This belief is so widespread that it has become almost a dogma, an unbreakable rule that, if not followed to the letter, condemns us to a future of health problems. But the truth, my friends, is much more nuanced and, thankfully, much more liberating. The idea that 8 hours is the sole measure of healthy sleep is, to a large extent, an oversimplification of population studies that show the average sleep time for healthy adults generally ranges between 7 and 9 hours. The problem arises when we turn an average into a universal rule.
Think about it. We are all different in height, weight, metabolism, genetics, and lifestyle. Would it be logical for us all to have exactly the same caloric needs, for example? Of course not. The same applies to sleep. Our sleep needs are as individual as our fingerprints. They are influenced by a complex interaction of genetic factors, age, level of physical activity, general health status, and even our environment. Some people are genetically programmed to function perfectly with 6 hours of sleep, while others may need 9 or even 10 hours to feel truly restored. And both extremes can be perfectly healthy for the right individual. The impact of rigidly clinging to this 8-hour myth can be surprisingly negative. The obsession with reaching a magic number can generate significant anxiety. You lie in bed, look at the clock, and start calculating. If I sleep now, I'll only have 7 hours and 45 minutes. It's not enough. This anxiety in itself is one of the biggest enemies of sleep. It activates our sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mode, making it even harder to relax and fall asleep. The result? You actually sleep less or worse, and attribute this to failing to reach 8 hours, when in reality, the anxiety generated by the myth was the real saboteur. Furthermore, this fixation can lead us to ignore our own body's signals. If you naturally wake up after 7 hours, feeling refreshed and full of energy, but insist on staying in bed for another hour to complete the 8, you may actually be interrupting a natural sleep cycle and waking up more groggy than if you had gotten up earlier. The human body is incredibly intelligent, and most of the time, it gives us the signals it needs. So, what is the truth and what can you do? The practical recommendation is focus on the quality and consistency of your sleep, not on a fixed number of hours. Instead of worrying about the clock, pay attention to how you feel. Do you wake up refreshed? Do you have enough energy for your daily activities without relying excessively on caffeine? Can you maintain focus and concentration throughout the day? If the answer is yes, you are likely getting enough sleep. Most importantly, try to maintain a consistent sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up at approximately the same time every day, including weekends. This helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which is your body's master biological clock, and is far more beneficial than trying to make up for lost sleep. Understanding and respecting your body's individual needs is the first step towards truly preventative and effective sleep health.
Myth 2. Sleeping too much is always good for the brain. If the myth of the 8-hour rule makes us feel that less is bad, popular logic often leads us to believe that more is always better. If I could sleep 10, 12 hours a day, it would be wonderful. How many times have you heard or thought that? The idea that the more sleep the better is tempting, especially for those who constantly feel tired or overwhelmed. It seems like the perfect solution for chronic fatigue and the stress of modern life. However, just like lack of sleep, excessive sleep can also be a warning sign and, in some cases, even detrimental to our brain health and longevity. It's a paradox that many people are unaware of, and one that may be impacting their health without them realizing it.
Science has shown us that excessive sleep, especially chronically and not due to a specific need for recovery, such as after illness or extreme sleep deprivation, can be associated with a range of health problems. Observational studies have linked prolonged sleep, generally defined as more than 9 or 10 hours per night regularly, to an increased risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and even faster cognitive decline in older adults. The body and brain thrive on a balanced and consistent circadian rhythm. When we disrupt this balance with excessively long sleep patterns, we can deregulate important metabolic and hormonal processes. For example, excessive sleep can affect insulin sensitivity, contributing to the risk of diabetes, and may be associated with increased systemic inflammation, a known factor in the development of chronic diseases. Furthermore, the lethargy and lack of motivation that often accompany excessive sleep can lead to a more sedentary lifestyle, creating a vicious cycle that further harms overall health. The impact of this myth on your brain can be subtle but significant. If you sleep a lot and still feel tired, or if you wake up with a heavy head or mental fog, this could be a sign that something is wrong. Excessive sleep can be a symptom of an underlying problem, such as depression, undiagnosed sleep apnea, hypothyroidism, or other medical conditions that need attention. It's not sleep itself that's the problem, but what it might be indicating. Furthermore, prolonged brain inactivity during excessive sleep may not be as beneficial as commonly thought. The brain needs a balance between activity and rest. When we spend too much time in deep sleep or REM states, we may be missing opportunities for brain activity that occurs during wakefulness and is crucial for plasticity and the maintenance of cognitive function. So, what's the truth and what can you do? The practical recommendation is find your ideal sleep level, the one that makes you feel best and most functional without overdoing it. If you're consistently sleeping more than 9 hours a night and still feel exhausted, or if you notice that excessive sleep is affecting your mental clarity and energy, it's crucial to see a doctor. There may be an underlying cause that needs to be investigated and treated. The goal isn't to sleep as little as possible, nor as much as possible, but rather to find the quantity and quality of sleep that optimize your health and well-being. Pay attention to your body's signals, and if something seems out of the ordinary, don't hesitate to seek professional guidance. Your brain and body will thank you for this balance.
Myth 3. You can catch up on lost sleep over the weekend. The weekend. For many, it represents the promise of freedom, leisure, and of course, the chance to catch up on all those lost hours of sleep during the busy week. It's a common ritual, working to exhaustion from Monday to Friday, sacrificing precious hours of rest, with the justification that Saturday and Sunday will be dedicated to long naps and lazy mornings. Modern culture, with its incessant demands, often pushes us towards this mentality, making us believe that sleep is a kind of debt that can be paid in installments, or rather, in a single massive payment on the weekend. But unfortunately, this is one of the biggest illusions we have about sleep, and one that can have serious consequences for your brain health and longevity. The idea that we can simply make up for lost sleep is, at its core, flawed.
Sleep isn't like a bank account where you can make deposits and withdrawals at will. It's a complex and continuous biological process, fundamental for cellular repair, memory consolidation, hormonal regulation, and the maintenance of immune function. When you deprive your body of sleep during the week, you're not just accumulating tiredness. You're accumulating a sleep deficit that has cumulative and detrimental effects. Your body and brain suffer stress, your cognitive abilities decrease, your mood changes, and your immune system is compromised. Trying to catch up all of that in 1 or 2 days of extended sleep on the weekend is like trying to put out a forest fire with a glass of water. You might alleviate some of the immediate exhaustion, but you won't reverse the accumulated damage or restore optimal physiological balance. The impact of this weekday deprivation, weekend excess pattern is particularly damaging to your circadian rhythm. Our bodies have an internal biological clock that regulates our sleep-wake cycles, hormone production, and other vital functions. When you drastically change your sleep schedule between weekdays and weekends, you're essentially causing social jet lag. It's like traveling to a different time zone every Friday and returning on Monday. This disrupts your internal clock, making it harder to fall asleep and wake up, and can lead to problems like insomnia, chronic fatigue, digestive issues, and even an increased risk of long-term metabolic and cardiovascular diseases. For your brain, this inconsistency is a stressor. Memory consolidation and toxin-clearing processes that occur during sleep are most effective when sleep is regular and of good quality, not when it's fragmented and inconsistent. So what is the truth and what can you do? The practical recommendation is prioritize sleep consistency above all else. Instead of trying to catch up lost sleep, strive to maintain as regular a sleep schedule as possible, even on weekends. This means going to bed and waking up at approximately the same time every day. If you need a little more sleep on the weekend, try not to exceed 1 hour more than your usual wake-up time. Short strategic naps during the day, 20 to 30 minutes, can be more effective at relieving fatigue than long extra hours of sleep that disrupt your circadian rhythm. The goal is to avoid sleep deficit in the first place, treating sleep as a daily priority, not a luxury that can be postponed. Your body and brain function better with routine and predictability, and this applies doubly to your sleep.
Myth 4. Brain supplements are the key to cognitive longevity. In today's fast-paced world, where the pursuit of a competitive edge and a constantly alert mind is paramount, the promise of a magic pill for brain health and cognitive longevity is incredibly seductive. The market is flooded with supplements that promise to boost your memory, increase your focus, protect your brain from aging, and even make you smarter. Nootropics, brain vitamins, exotic herbal extracts. The list is vast and the claims are grandiose. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that these supplements are the key to unlocking your brain's full potential and guaranteeing enviable cognitive longevity. But as a doctor, I need to be very clear. This is a simplistic and often dangerous view of the complexity of brain health. The explanation for the popularity of these supplements is multifaceted.
We live in an era of information overload and chronic stress, where mental fatigue is common. The idea that a supplement can offer a quick and easy solution to these problems is very appealing. Furthermore, aggressive advertising and clever marketing often exploit our fears about aging and cognitive decline, promising miraculous results without the need for lifestyle changes. However, demystification is crucial here. The vast majority of these brain supplements lack robust and independent scientific evidence proving their long-term efficacy and safety. Many studies are small, poorly designed, or funded by the companies selling the products themselves, raising serious questions about their impartiality. The truth is, there is no magic pill that can replace the fundamentals of brain health. The impact of relying excessively on these supplements can be twofold. First, there's the financial risk. Many of these products are expensive, and if they don't work, you're simply throwing money away. Second, and more importantly, there's the health risk. Some supplements may have unwanted side effects, interact with medications you're already taking, or contain undeclared and potentially dangerous ingredients. Furthermore, and perhaps most insidious, is the psychological impact. By focusing on supplements, people may neglect proven strategies for brain health and longevity. They may believe they are taking care of their brain by taking a pill, while ignoring the vital importance of a healthy diet, regular exercise, quality sleep, stress management, and social and intellectual engagement. This false sense of security is one of the biggest saboteurs of true cognitive longevity. So what is the truth and what can you do? The practical recommendation is focus on the fundamental pillars of brain health, which are proven by science. Instead of seeking shortcuts in unregulated supplements, invest in 1. Nutritious diet, a diet rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats, like the Mediterranean diet, is the most effective superfood for your brain. 2. Regular physical exercise. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, stimulates the growth of new brain cells, and improves cognitive function. 3. Quality sleep. As we have already discussed, adequate sleep is essential for memory repair and consolidation. 4. Stress management. Techniques such as meditation, mindfulness, and spending time in nature can protect your brain from the harmful effects of chronic stress. 5. Mental and social engagement. Learning new things, reading, solving puzzles, and maintaining social connections are crucial for keeping your brain active and resilient. If you consider supplements, always talk to your doctor to ensure they are safe and appropriate for you. Remember, true cognitive longevity is built on solid and consistent habits, not empty promises.
Myth 5. Memory loss is an inevitable part of aging. We've arrived at the fifth and perhaps most insidious myth, one that haunts the minds of many as they age. The belief that memory loss and cognitive decline are inevitable and unalterable parts of the aging process. How many times have you heard someone say, or even said it yourself, it's just old age, when forgetting something or experiencing a moment of mental confusion? This resignation is dangerous because it leads us to passively accept a fate that we can actually significantly influence. The idea that our brains are doomed to fail over time is one of the biggest obstacles to promoting healthy and active brain longevity. It's time to demystify this narrative and embrace a much more hopeful and empowering truth. The explanation for the persistence of this myth lies in part in the observation that, yes, some cognitive changes are normal with aging.
It may take a little longer to recall names or information, and multitasking may become more challenging. However, the crucial demystification here is distinguishing between normal aging and pathological cognitive decline. Modern science, especially in the fields of neuroscience and gerontology, has demonstrated that our brain possesses a remarkable capacity for neuroplasticity, the ability to form new connections and even generate new brain cells throughout life. The brain is not a static organ that simply deteriorates. It is dynamic and responsive to our habits and environment. The idea that severe memory loss is an inevitable part of aging is a misconception that prevents many people from adopting preventative strategies that could protect and even enhance their cognitive function. The impact of believing this myth is profound and limiting. If you believe that memory loss is inevitable, why bother keeping your brain active? This belief can lead to inaction, neglect of healthy habits, and a lack of mental and social engagement, which are crucial for brain health. People who resign themselves to this fate may become less likely to learn new things, challenge themselves intellectually, or maintain social connections, all protective factors against cognitive decline. Furthermore, this mindset can delay seeking medical help when memory problems become more than the normal aspects of aging, missing important windows for early intervention in conditions like dementia. Passively accepting this myth robs people of the power to actively influence their own brain health trajectory. So, what is the truth, and what can you do? The practical recommendation is embrace your brain's neuroplasticity and adopt a proactive lifestyle for cognitive longevity. Significant memory loss is not an inevitable part of aging, and there is much you can do to protect and optimize your brain health. Here are some evidence-based strategies. 1. Stay mentally active. Learn a new language, play an instrument, read challenging books, take courses. The brain, like a muscle, gets stronger with use. 2. Exercise regularly. Physical activity is one of the best medicines for the brain, improving blood flow, reducing inflammation, and stimulating the growth of new brain cells. 3. Feed your brain. A diet rich in antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, and essential nutrients, such as the Mind or Mediterranean diet, is fundamental. 4. Sleep well. We've talked about this before, but it's worth repeating. Sleep is the time when the brain cleans and repairs itself. 5. Manage stress. Chronic stress is toxic to the brain. Practice mindfulness, meditation, or other relaxation techniques. 6. Maintain social connections. Social interaction stimulates the brain and protects against isolation, a risk factor for cognitive decline. 7. Control risk factors. Keep your blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol under control. Treat conditions like depression and sleep apnea. Remember, your brain is resilient and adaptable. By adopting these strategies, you're not just fighting aging, you're building a future of mental clarity and vitality.
Phew, we've come a long way today, debunking 5 powerful myths that have long misled us about sleep and brain health. To recap, we learned that there is no magic number of 8 hours of sleep for everyone. Quality and consistency are more important. Sleeping too much isn't necessarily better and can even be a warning sign. You can't simply catch up on lost weekend sleep without consequences for your circadian rhythm. Brain supplements aren't the magic bullet. Lifestyle fundamentals are far more powerful. And finally, significant memory loss is not an inevitable part of aging, and your brain has an incredible capacity to adapt and thrive. I hope this video has shed some light and given you a new perspective on how you can take care of your most precious asset, your mind.
The journey to healthy longevity and a vibrant mind isn't about perfection, but about progress, about making informed and consistent choices that support your body and brain. Every small change you implement, every myth you debunk, is a step towards a fuller and clearer life. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these myths surprised you the most today? Or perhaps you have a myth about sleep or brain health that you'd like me to address in a future video. Leave your comment below. I read each one and love interacting with you. Your participation is essential for building a more informed and healthy community. If you found this video helpful and want to continue receiving science-based information to optimize your health and longevity, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone you love, and of course, subscribe to Dr. Rachel Adams, MD, Preventive Health's channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming content. Together, we can build a future of health and vitality. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.